Abraham was an old man living in a busy modern city where tall buildings touched the sky and cars never stopped making noise. People around him were always in a hurry, chasing money, success, and comfort. Yet inside Abraham's house there was a quiet pain that no noise could cover. For many years, Abraham and his wife had lived together without a child. Every morning, Abraham woke up, went about his work, spoke kindly to people, and returned home with a smile. But deep inside his heart, there was an empty place that refused to heal. He watched other men hold their children's hands, teach them how to ride bicycles or walk them to school, and each time he saw those moments, his heart felt heavy, even though he tried not to show it. Many people whispered behind Abraham's back. Some said he must have done something wrong. Others said God had forgotten him. A few even laughed, saying he was too old to still hope for a child. But Abraham did something that was not common in his world. He refused to let bitterness live in his heart. Every night, when the city lights dimmed and the streets became quiet, Abraham prayed. He talked to God like a friend, sometimes with hope, sometimes with tears, and sometimes with silence when words failed him. He remembered the promise God had made to him long ago, and even when years passed without change, he chose to believe that a promise delayed was not a promise denied. Time moved on, and Abraham's hair turned fully grey. His steps became slower, and his hands showed the signs of age. Still, hope stayed alive inside him. Then one ordinary day, when no one was expecting anything special, the miracle finally happened. Abraham's wife became pregnant. At first, they were afraid to believe it because hope had hurt them before. But as days turned into months, the truth became clear. The house that had once echoed with silence slowly filled with laughter, prayers, and gratitude. When the child was born, Abraham held his son in his arms with trembling hands and tears flowing freely. They named him Isaac, which meant laughter, because joy had finally replaced years of sorrow. From that day on, Abraham's life changed completely. The man who once carried quiet sadness now carried a child on his shoulders. He woke up early just to watch Isaac sleep, afraid that the joy might disappear like a dream. Isaac became Abraham's pride, his happiness, and the center of his world. Abraham taught him how to walk, how to speak kindly, and how to trust God. Every laugh from Isaac felt like a reminder that God had been faithful all along. Abraham loved his son deeply, not knowing that the same faith that brought Isaac into his life would soon be tested in a way he could never imagine. Life continued peacefully for Abraham. Each day felt like a gift he did not want to waste. Isaac was growing fast, asking questions, laughing loudly, and filling the house with energy. Abraham often watched him from a distance, smiling quietly, his heart full. After many years of waiting and pain, life finally felt complete. It felt like the storm had passed forever. Abraham believed the hardest part of his life was already behind him. Then one night, everything changed. The city was asleep, the streets were quiet, and the usual noise had faded into silence. Abraham lay on his bed, tired from the day, when a deep calm filled the room. In that still moment, God spoke to him. The voice was clear, gentle, and firm. Abraham knew immediately it was not a dream. God called his name, and Abraham answered with respect and fear mixed together. Then came the words that pierced his heart like a sharp knife. God asked Abraham to take his son, his only son Isaac, whom he loved so dearly, and offer him as a sacrifice. Abraham's body became weak. His mind refused to understand what his ears had heard. His heart began to race, and tears filled his eyes. He sat up slowly, holding his chest as if the pain inside him was physical. Questions rushed through his mind like a storm. Why would God ask for this? Was this punishment? Was this a mistake? Isaac was the miracle, the promise, the joy that came after years of shame and waiting. How could God ask for the very thing he had given? Abraham looked toward Isaac's room. He stood quietly at the doorway, watching his son sleep peacefully, unaware of the battle happening in his father's heart. Isaac's face was calm, his breathing soft and steady. Abraham's knees felt weak, and he leaned against the wall to stop himself from falling. Every part of him wanted to say no. Every part of him wanted to protect his child. But deep inside, another voice reminded him of all the times God had been faithful, even when nothing made sense. That night, Abraham did not sleep. He prayed without words. He cried without sound. His heart felt like it was breaking into pieces, yet his faith refused to die. By morning, Abraham made a decision that only true faith could make. He chose to obey, not because he understood,